This one right here.
This lovely looking problem here. I always have a
Correct.
joke with my students when we look at it together.
Great SAT math problem. So the reason I put this question here is, as you said, a lot of students will see this question and there's a lot going on top, right? There's a big fraction, the exponents, the fractions inside. A lot of students, as with the whole test, will see a question like this and they might get a little scared or not exactly sure what to do. But I think that it shows how simple at its core the SAT can be if you just sift through all of the noise and the way that they try to make questions appear a little more difficult than they actually are. So perhaps you have a different way for this question, but I like to think of this one. So if we just were to read it, this is basically the function to pay off a loan, and M is your monthly payment that is needed. So here the function is expressed, M is equal to that nice big fraction we have there times P. And the question is basically just asking us to reconfigure it into P equals, right? To put P in terms of MR and N. So a pretty shorthand way of doing this is just to identify the fraction we have that is attached to the P, the numerator here. We can simplify that as a letter, let's just say A, and then the denominator down there, we can simplify all of that into a variable B. And then we have this fraction, A over B times P. So now it looks a lot cleaner, not as scary. And now it's just basic algebra. So we have M equals and we want to isolate P. So all we need to do is multiply by the reciprocal of A over B. Again, basic algebra looks a lot simpler when it's written like this. If we do that, A over B will cancel out on the right-hand side. So now we have P on its own side, which is what we need for this question. And as you can also see, the 4 answer choices is your clue here. If you're really unsure of where to start, that's always a good spot also. What are the answer choices? What's the format? They're all P equals. And then we'd have M times B over A. Of course, there's no answer that is expressed as such, but now we just have to plug back in the part of the fraction that was represented by B, which was our denominator in orange, and then plug back the part that was represented by A, the green part.
Oh man, this is all the
Times
writing
M.
here.
Yeah.
So which
Multiplied
answer
by
is
M
that?
equals to P. So for those of you following along at home, as you can see, it would be B.
And I will say that you've actually answered this in a more simple manner than I usually do, because you're dealing with just the numerator and the denominator. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. I think I usually break it down to this one and this one. So, you know, I'll have it as A, B over C times P, and then same thing, but I like your way better. It's much simpler.